my parents' reaction to reverting as a Kurdish woman who was born in a country that shall not be named, the regime, the really disgusting, forceful regime that does not represent real Islam? So what was my parents' reaction? Because when my parents left this country, my dad's atheist, my dad doesn't believe in anything, and my mom is spiritual, but I don't think she really understands what God is or the God concept, but she's been spiritual for a very long time. But when I was a child, my parents taught me, like I remember this so specifically, and it's always really interesting, I have to point out, why I remember specific things about my childhood, because there's not a lot of things in my childhood I remember, but there's specific things that pop out to me. And one of the things that pop out to me was this little conversation. I don't even remember, it wasn't even much of a conversation. It was just, I think I was like 8 years old or 9 years, I was 8 years old. And my parents told me, they said, if they ask you what your religion is, say you don't have one. If they ask you if you believe in God, say you don't. And like, I think they said like, believe in science or something like that. And I was a kid, I was just like, okay, whatever, I don't really care. And when I was in this new city I was growing up in, I was surrounded by Middle Easterns, I was surrounded with a lot of Muslims, but they weren't really practicing Muslims. Like, they weren't praying, they weren't really, promoting the faith the way it was meant to. So I was always surrounded by Muslims my whole life, but they were not practicing Muslims. So I never had a proper representation of what a real good practicing Muslim is. Anyway, so my parents' reaction. So, first I got the reaction of my mom, and so this is how it all kind of came out. Like, I came out as a hijabi, that was the first thing, and I didn't really say much about reverting to Islam. Like, I kind of waited, and like, I kind of was like slowly posting about the Quran, posting about how like Islam is the truth. I never said it that I was reverted as Muslim. The only thing I came out with after I took my shahada was, I'm a hijabi now. That's all I said. I didn't say anything about reverting to Islam. I mean, technically I did say something about reverting to Islam, because I started talking about Sufism as well. Anyways, so the first thing my mom said was, she didn't really, like, we didn't really have a conversation. I post on social media, she sees all my content, she comments on my things. That's like our communication really right now. I call her like once in a while and stuff. And so she was commenting on all of my content. She went into full like interrogation mode, because she has an understanding of Islam that is not true. What the regime promotes is not true, and what any extremist promotes of any religion is not true. It's not the true religion. And so she went into like full on, she was really triggered. She was really triggered by the fact that I was hijabi. She didn't really care about anything else really. I mean, she didn't really know that I was really, really a practicing Muslim now. But she did not like the fact that I was covering myself, because she has a history of her family history being forced and abused to wear the hijab at home, like literally in her own household. So obviously there's a lot of trauma there, and I had full compassion for her experiencing this reaction towards me. So she was just like commenting all these things, trying to like debate me, basically saying that like I'm wrong for believing in Islam. And I would always respond with really respectfully, I love my mother, she loves me. I would respond really respectfully in the comments. And then a couple days later, I don't remember what it was, I called her. Oh yeah, we were having like a text message conversation, and like I was starting to feel really triggered by her, because like she's my mom, I want my mom to like really love me and accept me for who I am. And I was feeling this tension from her. Obviously it was her projecting her trauma. It had nothing to do with her not loving and accepting me. She was projecting her trauma. So hot, I need a little break. I live in Costa Rica, if you didn't know. Okay, anyways, back to the story. So I was feeling this tension, and I just called her. I just picked up the phone and I called her, and I said like, what's up? Like, what's up? You want to talk? Like, let's talk. Like, let's be adults about this, And I'm like, I feel like you're not really accepting me. You say that you love me, you say that you accept me, but then you say things that are contradicting that, and I don't like that. That's like upsetting me. And so she just started like going off, and then I just kept asking. I'm like, I don't remember what it is that I kept asking her. I'm like, but why did you say this one sentence? This was really disrespectful, what you said. I don't remember what the sentence was, but I just kept repeating it until she understood what she said was really rude, like it was disrespectful. And then finally she understood, and she was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I get it now. And then that's all I wanted. I just wanted acknowledgement. I just wanted a piece of acknowledgement, and for her to understand where her perspective was coming from was ignorant. It was ignorant. And I understand it's from trauma, but it's still ignorant to not open your mind and be educated to, like, hey, what is my daughter doing? Like, let me get educated about it. You know, not from a perspective that's a propagated government perspective. Like, faith and religion has nothing to do with government, okay? And then she just started explaining her childhood to me, and, you know, we're both crying on the phone, and I'm just like, I get it, and I love you, and then that was it. We made peace really, really easily. Not that we weren't in peace, but we cleared that tension, we cleared that energy that was in the air. And then she literally said in the phone call, she's like, I was embarrassed to call you. She's like, I didn't know what to say. Like, she was going through so much processing herself, and this was like 34 days ago. Like, I reverted a month ago, and so now, like, she's totally chill, we're all good. Like, I talk to her, I call her, and yeah. And so my dad's reaction, I don't think my dad really looks at my social media. Me and my dad don't have much of a close relationship that I do with my mom. My dad, I love him, he loves me, like, we have a really amazing relationship, but it's not much of a communicative relationship. Like, the only thing is we have a group chat, and like once in a while we send like memes and like pictures and videos and like random stuff. That's it, like random voice notes, and I send them pictures of my cats, and that's it. That's really our only communication. And so my mom told my dad that, hey, your girl's Muslim now, like, just. And I'm like, why did you have to do that? Like, I could have came home, because I'm going home in a couple weeks. I'm like, we could have just made this so much just chill, you know? I'm like, it doesn't have to be such a big deal. But she told him, and all he said was just like, I don't even want to hear it. Like, I don't want to talk about it, you know? Again, a lot of religious trauma, a lot of brainwashing of propagated stuff that is not about real Islam. So that's the story of my parents' reaction. You guys have been asking me so much, and soon I'm going to be launching the Roya podcast. I don't know what I'm calling it yet, but something Roya podcast show, and I'm going to be talking about my story. I'm going to be talking about how Islam is a beautiful spiritual religion, and the spirituality and mysticism of Islam, and just all the ins and outs of connecting with your heart and connecting with Allah, and the importance of prayer, the importance of meditation in a daily practice, every single moment of your life, having Allah in mind. And I'm so excited and I'm so honored. My name is Deria. I run Roya Healing Retreat Center. Roya is my healing retreat center, and kind of just like my alias name. She's my second name, you know. But yeah, you guys can call me Roya or Deria. Either is fine. I love you all so much, and have a beautiful day. SubhanAllah.